All right, this player we're talking about tonight is a quarterback, has elite poise, pinpoint accuracy, and that clutch gene. But is he a top tier fantasy quarterback or just a product of all the hype? Let's break it down on the next scouting report. All right, I am here with Ryan as always, and we are breaking down Shedeur Sanders, 6'2", 212 pounds, quarterback out of Colorado. Of course, the son of Deion Sanders. Ryan, let's jump into it, man. What did you see that you liked about him?
I like one of the things that really stands out with him is how tough he is in his poise in the pocket. Not always a good thing, but that dude got hammered and just kept ticking. And he wasn't afraid to throw down the barrel with the defender in his face. He works all three levels pretty well. He really trusts his playmakers, maybe to a fault sometimes, but he had no problem throwing it up and trusting Travis Hunter to go make the play. Trusting Jim Horn Jr. to make the play. Like he believed in his guys and they played hard for him. He's super clutch and down the stretch and didn't seem to have any fear of that. I love that attitude. I love the confidence he plays with. And I think he resets very well outside the pocket when he's moving. He's not a runner, but he squares his feet. He gets around and can make the plays outside of pocket and on the run a little bit. So it kind of makes him dangerous there. He'll take off if he needs to. He's not obviously a burner by any means, but he's athletic enough to extend and take yards that are there.
I agree with all that. I did, watch a few scouting reports on these on YouTube, and I don't pretend to know what pre-snap reads are, but I did hear that he is elite at pre-snap reads. Being able to read defenses probably comes a lot from his dad. Being able to teach him how to do that kind of stuff. So decision making, ball security is pretty good as well. You mentioned his good mobility for he's a pocket passer, but he's got good mobility and very, very accurate. I think 74%, I believe, is what his percentage was in college. So yeah, that's a pretty accurate quarterback there. What about going to the negative side of things? What do you see that you didn't like about him?
So the accuracy thing, the accuracy is great on short intermediate passes. I thought it was very inconsistent on the deep ball.
Agreed.
Deep ball led to a lot of problems for me. It would flutter and kind of not always make it every time. I thought his release was really long, which going back to the sacks, he took a lot of sacks because he didn't have that quick release. He didn't get the ball out fast enough. I don't think he always takes the short player, the given play, and he always tries to make everything at once and doesn't take what's there. I think there's inconsistencies with his releases and how he throws on a play basis. Yeah, so like there's definitely some issues. I don't think he has a ton of arm power, like a arm strength compared to some of the other NFL quarterbacks. It might make him need a little more system, have to be in a certain kind of offense to really thrive.
Agreed. Yeah, I wrote down takes too many sacks, and you mentioned that sometimes he gets blown
Dude,
up, but I mean he takes
so many
too
sacks.
many. And he also tends to backpedal in the pocket as opposed to stepping up in the pocket. There's many times where he backpedaled up into a sack instead of stepping up, where his guys were, created a decent pocket around him. Didn't really step up. And then, as good as he was at pre-snap reads, he did struggle somewhat with complex blitz packages. Sometimes he made the wrong read and would get sacked because he was expecting the guy to blitz from somewhere else and they came from a different direction. So he did struggle with that as well. And as accurate as he was, it's a little bit different in the NFL where you have to throw your guys open. He was not as good at that. He was good if they
No.
were already open, but throwing them open, he was not good at.
Or throwing it up and letting them make the play. Also, the fact that the sacks, he threw it a lot were his fault, and he threw his line under the bus multiple times,
Yeah,
and I absolutely hate that.
kind of calls out his leadership skills if he's doing that. It's definitely not a good thing.
Like the great quarterbacks, they take it on themselves and
Yep,
make the adjustment. Maybe if you do a dump off here or there
agreed.
and keeps the defense where they're not just pinning their ears back and blitzing because you're trying to go deep and they know you'll hold on to the ball.
Agreed.
That was some issues with that for me.
Now, initially, there were some talks, early off season, even at the end of the NFL season, that he might be the 101. I think that that talk has pretty much died down now. Where do you see him landing in the NFL draft? Is there any team that you think will reach for him or take him pretty high?
So it's interesting. I feel like if he doesn't go top three, he plummets. Like if one of these teams don't get desperate for the quarterback, whether it be Cleveland or the Giants, he falls. Like there's a lot of teams who are bad whose quarterback situations kind of suck.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Um, there's not a ton of
What
openings.
about Raiders at
Pittsburgh's still
6?
an
You think
option down at 21.
Raiders would go quarterback at 6, you think?
Maybe, but it's not really something we've heard a lot of. And they just got
True. They
Gino.
just made a trade for Geno. So it would almost be like Geno would be the bridge quarterback if they were to do that.
Right. And I don't know. He can go anywhere. It's kind of like the year with like Kenny Pickett, where he just kind of fell and we waited and waited to see where he landed. It could be it's one of the most players for their drafting status I have the least feel on because the way the draft is, the worries with him, and a lot of teams are have QBs, but may not make that
Yeah, I'm
anymore
looking at the
for the
draft
ones you
order
don't.
now, and like, I mean, you look at it when you get to the middle part of the draft. You got, Carolina's not looking for a quarterback. They can get Bryce one more year. Chicago, obviously, San Francisco's, not looking. Dallas is not looking. Miami, the Colts, took a rookie quarterback, 2 years ago. Atlanta's got their rookie quarterback that from last year. He really could fall if he doesn't go in that top maybe six. He could definitely fall.
Honestly, Miami could. As weird as it sounds, if they don't have help, hoping to his health. The thing we could see is a team trade back into the first round.
Good point.
If like the Giants waited, they could trade back into the first round and try to get the extra
Yeah,
year
that's a
out of
good
him.
point. That's a good point. All right, let's talk. Let's talk player comps here. You got a good comp for Shedeur Sanders.
Um, Teddy Bridgewater, I think, very serviceable starter in need be, nice bridge quarterback. You're confident to win games with him in there, but he's going to serve his best as either a backup or that guy you bring in for a little bit. Doesn't have a ton of arm strength, but makes good short throws. If he cleans up and can get everything together, I think he can be that kind of quarterback. Maybe a little bit better, but I kind of view him
Yeah,
in that
I like
light.
that comp. I put down Alex Smith. I know Alex Smith was a little bit more of a runner than Shador Sanders is, but as far as the passing ability, Alex Smith was always very accurate, short underneath, intermediate shows. Didn't have the big arm that you saw in some of these quarterbacks, similar to Sanders. Alex Smith struggled early in his career with reading with blitz packages. But I kind of saw a little bit of Alex Smith when I watched Sanders. Now I think Sanders has got a bit of a stronger arm than Alex Smith does, a little bit more zip on his passes. But in general, I think I kind of saw a little bit of Alex Smith in him as well. All right, anything else you wanted to mention before we get out of here?
Um, Similar to what I said with Cam Ward on the last show, do not reach for a quarterback. Like the fantasy, he passes the first round of Superflex in your league, it may not be a bad thing.
Yeah,
Like don't reach without running upside, and unless he lands in the perfect situation, do not reach.
yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I think he's slowly slipped down the mocks that I've been doing. Now, obviously, mock drafts are sort of in a vacuum. You don't have team needs when you're in a mock draft. So if you're in a desperate need of quarterback, I could see someone reaching for him. But if I can avoid it, I'm not taking him anywhere in the first half of the draft for sure. Uh, Mid to late first is probably where I feel the most comfortable. I mean, I feel more comfortable if he was a high second, but I don't know if he'll get that far at super flex.
No, and if he goes top three, like through the Giants or something, he'll move them back up.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, that wraps up our scouting report of Shedeur Sanders. Again, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and TikTok or wherever you're watching us currently. Hit the subscribe button. Drop us a comment in the video. Tell us what you think about Shedeur Sanders, where you think he might go in the NFL, where you think he might go in dynasty drafts, and we will see you next time.